Hello there, my soul family. Buenas noches. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening to all my beautiful soul family tonight. How is everyone doing? Do tell. I want to know, how is everyone doing tonight? Welcome to another round of It's Tarot Tuesday, and Spirit knows it. Blessings to you, hija mía, Cassandra, here in YouTube land. Blessings to all my YouTube land family. Blessings to all my IG soul family. Blessings to you, my goddaughter, CWD Ayas. Hello, Iya Santo. Blessings to you. Hi there, Divine. How is everyone doing tonight? How was your week? How was your weekend? How is this week going so far? Do tell, where are you checking in from? What city? What state? What country? Do tell. I want to know. And do me a huge favor. Let the rest of the gang know it's Tarot Tuesday and Spirit knows it, and we are on live right now. Let the rest of the Soul family know we are live. New York City. Adriana's in the house. Blessings to you. Another New York City is in the house as well. Where else? Where else are we checking in from this evening? Who is joining us here in this sacred space tonight? Do tell. Florida, Kentucky in the house, Madison, Camarillo, California. Yes, yes, yes. Awesomeness. Peace and blessings to you as well. Florida, again. Awesomeness, awesome. Awesomeness. Blessings to you as well, Shango the King. Awesome. So, um, what I want to tell you tonight. So, a couple of house announcements before we jump into tonight's downloads and shares. I am. It's not 100% sure yet, but it is most likely that this year's um, 3 day shadow work retreat, I kind of sort of already have a spot eyed out for our 3 day shadow work retreat of this year, which will be in October. It's leaning towards a nice, beautiful, magical, spiritually fed spot here in Southern California. Um, it's actually considered, I learned recently that it's actually considered to be a sister location to Sedona. You know, I've been there once, and I must say it does have a very it does have a magical feel. There's a magical feel to this particular spot. I can feel very energetic, high vibrations in this location, and it's very spiritual. I can tell that as well. Um, I still have to go back and continue to scout out the place and just to make my final decision. But it's looking like it's going to be in this location that I'm thinking about. I'm thinking whether or not I want to say it yet, since it's not 100% sure. But it's considered to be a sister spot to Sedona. There actually are. It is said that there's actually um, vortexes or energetic locations in this particular area. Um, and no, it's not Joshua Tree. Um, so we shall see. I'm feeling very confident, let's just say, about this particular location. So stay tuned. Um, uh, Stay tuned for more information regarding this year's shadow work retreat in October. Um, Stay tuned for that. Actually, why shouldn't I say this? There's nothing wrong with me saying it. I'm looking at a location in, it's called Ojai, and it's in it's not necessarily Northern California. It's just out of LA County, but it's a beautiful spot. You get to drive through the coast, up the mountains, into the mountains of Ojai, which is beautiful, and you'll see the ocean, and there are some really beautiful spots in the Ojai area. Um, it's said to be the sister location to Sedona, um, uh, because of its vortexes that it does have, and things of that nature. I was actually performing there. That's how I came in contact with this place. I was performing there earlier this month, and I went there. And I'm like, oh my god, this place feels very energetic, very magical, very vibrational. And I have a dear friend that lives there, you know, and I'm going to be connecting with them soon to get a more in depth uh, uh, tour of the Ojai area. And it feels like it's going to happen there. I would have rather, like always, I would have rather to know, or have had a secure location already by now, by May, preferably by March, actually. But if there's one thing that, if you work with me, or if you've worked with me in the past, if there's one thing that you will know about me, is that I don't rush spirit's energy. I don't rush it. I just don't. The Virgo in me challenges that, because I like things in a particular kind of way, in a particular kind of order, and I like it, you know, I like it, you know, when I want it. I want it, and I want it when I want it, right? But I also understand that spirit, energetically, vibrationally, especially with me, works in a different kind of pace, and I don't rush things. I'm patient. I always look at the time, and I'm like, damn, it's already May. I really need to put this out there, you know already. I think it's past my quote unquote due date of putting things out there, mainly to give people enough time to prepare, especially financially, to prepare, and make their payments. Some people can pay overnight, other people need more time, so the longer, more time you have, the better and the easier it is for a lot of people. But I do believe in the power of divine timing. I do, you know. I do believe in the power of divine timing, and divine timing is not my time. Divine timing is universal time, is spirit's time. And in reality, there is no concept of time in spirit's land, right? But I always, every year, even though it may not always go in the time frame that I would like things to be, every year it always ends up being exactly how spirit wants it to be. And it's always magical, and it's always vibrational, and it's always uplifting, and it's always, very spirit filled. And it shouldn't be any different this year. So even though my Virgo brain, is having feels like it's in a time crunch to secure this place already, because we already in May, and I should have had this place already, and why haven't I found it yet? And yeah, that's my Virgo brain, right? But the spiritual side of me, the one that's connected with spirit, the one that surrenders to spirit's call, knows that everything happens in the moment and the time that it's supposed to happen. So I just recently, a couple of weeks ago, the beginning of this month, I went up to Ojai to perform in my father's a musical band. I was covering for him, and I ended up being in a festival up there in Ohio. And I was like, I love this place. I love the energy. I love the vibration. I love the, all the it just felt appropriate for what I want to do. So fingers crossed. I think that it's leaning towards that being the place where we will have our 3 day shadow work retreat this year. Um, I shall keep you posted. I shall keep you posted. Either way, once again, if you are interested in being part of this year's shadow work retreat, if you know your life needs it, if you know your being needs it, if you know all of your essence needs it, if you know you're ready for that transformational change, if you know that your life and you are ready to dig deep into your much needed healing journey, um, uh, send me a DM so that I can share this with you first once it's all put together and give you a first-hand opportunity to secure your participation, secure your spot in this year's 3 day shadow work retreat. Um, and then we take it from there. Okay. That being said, that being said, yeah, I think that's it. This Thursday, in honor of this month's mental health awareness, this Thursday will be our last online healing meditation series on mental health awareness. I definitely hope that you will be present. It will be at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Um, all the healings, online healings this month have been powerful, and this Thursday will be the closeout. It will be the our closing of this month's series on mental health awareness, and I hope that you join us. Okay, I hope that you're there with us. I hope that you give yourself the opportunity to make space for yourself, for your mental well being, for your mental peace, for your mental awareness, for your mental balance, for being able to release and purge and redirect and organize your thoughts and dig deep into your inner being and receive the guidance and the downloads and have the clarity that you deserve and that your life deserves. So I do pray and I do hope that you join us this coming Thursday, the 29th of May, in our closeout, our last online healing um, meditation in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month. Okay. Click the link in my bio if you are on Instagram, and you will be able to secure your spot. Is on donation based, so whatever you offer, whatever you want to offer, will get you access to the Zoom link for you to participate in our online healing meditation and closing ceremony. Okay. Um, yeah, it's been magical. It's been beautiful. Other than that, my calendar is open for tomorrow for personal readings, for personal healing sessions. My calendar is open for tomorrow, the 28th, Wednesday the 28th. I am open for one on one personal readings, personal sessions. So if you're open, if you're ready, if you want to take a personal dive into your healing work, into your healing journey, schedule your session with me. The link is in my bio. If you are on YouTube, visit my website. That information is in the description box, as well as the information for Thursday's online healing meditation in honor of mental health awareness. That will be also in the description box when this video gets uploaded. ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más? No, that's it. That's about it. So, who's ready for tonight's Tarot Tuesday? And Spirit knows it. Who is ready for tonight's Tarot Tuesday downloads and guidance? Who is ready? I want you to, blessings to you, Nishama, blessings to you. I want you to write in the chat proximity. I want you to write in the chat proximity. I want you to write in the chat proximity. New Orleans is in the house. Blessings to you, beloved. Make sure that nothing's going to come and interrupt this flow here. Okay. I want you to write in the chat proximity. Proximity. Write it in the chat. Proximity. Yes, yes, yes. Proximity. Proximity. Write it in the chat. I sat with this for a minute because Spirit has a very special way of guiding us. I've always known this, as far back as I can remember. I've always known the Spirit has a very unique and an exclusive way of guiding us when we are open to receive. We have to be open to receive. Well, Spirit says to us tonight proximity. And what it basically says is that proximity can make us or break us. Proximity can elevate us or keep us down, keep us stuck, keep us restricted. Proximity could be a door towards blessings or the door towards living in hell. Due to, let me tell you, proximity. And what I want us to understand about this is that when you ask yourself, how is proximity dangerous? Well, if we look at what proximity is, we know that proximity is the close environment, or not environment, but the nearness to the nearness in space. If I recall its literal definition, the nearness in space, the nearness in time, the nearness in relationship, and how things are related to one another, the nearness to relationship, if I recall correctly, space and time and relationship. And Spirit tells us tonight that such nearness in space, such nearness in time, such nearness in relationship can either make us or break us. So Spirit comes in tonight so that we can give ourselves permission to question how close we are to the blessing, to the promise, how close we are to the experiences and things and people that uplift us, or how close we are to the things that weigh us down, the things that keeps us up at night, the things that the people or places that interferes with our peace, the things that keeps us angry, upset, disconnected, and out of balance. You see, I once read a while back, hold on, because I feel like my screen is cutting my head and I don't like that. I once read a while back an analogy that I was reading, and it basically said something to the effect of a dog that's barking not just to bark, but with the intent of biting you, because it's either afraid of you or it feels threatened by you. It can only bite you if you're close enough for it to bite you. The same as with a snake. The snake can bite you. Yes, it can. And it can bite you hard. And it can actually kill you if we're talking about a venomous snake. But a snake can only bite you depending on the proximity it has to you. Ooh, are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? A snake can bite you, a dog can bite you, based on depending upon the proximity it has with you. Some people, because they are stuck in their emotions, they are stuck in their feelings, and they're vibrating low, are living in spaces where they're way too close to the snake. They're way too close to that dog that can bite you. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? And your failure, if the shoe fits, your failure is to keep yourself in close range, in close proximity to the things, to the spaces, to the people that put your life at risk, that puts your life in harm's way, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? Your emotions, your feelings that are vibrating low keep you stuck to people, relationships, environments that puts your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual well-being at risk. That proximity is dangerous to your well-being. That proximity is dangerous to your peace of mind. That proximity puts your financial life in danger, especially if you're living with people that are leeches and sucking you dry. Or you are in an environment sharing space with people that are controlling and manipulative and people that habitually gaslight you. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? And your avenue of solution, let's just say. Easier said than done. Your avenue of solution is doing exactly what feels like it's so difficult for you to do, which is to put space in between, to put distance in between, to distance yourself, separate yourself, pull yourself away because listen, Spirit says you're too close for comfort. Do you hear me? Spirit says you are too close for comfort. Too close for comfort. Is this making any sense for you? And you know what makes this even harder? The fact that you're too close for comfort precisely with the people that you love, the people that you are emotionally attached to, the people that you feel that you owe something to them, the people that you've been conditioned. I don't know who this is for, but I swear, and I don't like to swear. I don't have to swear. You either believe me or you don't. I'm not here to convince anybody, but I have goosebumps everywhere, so I know this must be for somebody. The way you've been conditioned into believing that you are responsible for that person, for that situation, for that environment. You've been conditioned into believing, and sometimes we're conditioned by whom? First and foremost, we're conditioned by our parents or caretakers, the person that raised us. We're conditioned then by our family. We're then conditioned by our community, or school, or teachers. We're conditioned by society. We're conditioned by religion. We're conditioned by the church. We're conditioned by the pastor. We're conditioned by, you fill in the blank. These are all different conditioning factors that play into our psyche and how we respond to things or react, and how we face certain situations. It is time for you to reevaluate your proximity in this game. Come on now. Put it in the chat. Time for reevaluation. Time for reevaluation. If this message hits, if this message is for you, if this message resonates, if this message touches you in any kind of way, write it in the chat. It's time to reevaluate the terms of agreement. It's time to reevaluate this contract. It's time to reevaluate what we originally had agreed to. It's time for reevaluation. Write it in the chat. It's time for reevaluation. I saw something the other day on Facebook, and I was laughing until my belly was hurting. And even though, I'm not saying I agree, I'm not saying I don't agree, I'm just saying I found it funny. And then again, why not, right? Why not? And the meme on that particular page says that that marriages should have an expiration date. So like when you get married, that there should be an expiration date, so that when that expiration date comes, people should have the liberty to decide whether or not they want to continue. So it's less, so that the pressure feels less, right? I just found it to be funny how I read it. The wording was different, and I found it to be funny. I just found it to be very funny. But again, this is not exclusive to just marriages and romantic relationships. We're talking about a person's overall life. Okay, it's time for reevaluation of the terms of agreement. You like my shirt? Thank you. His beloved soul family. Thank you, sir. I haven't worn it in a while. It's been a minute. It's been a long minute since I've worn this shirt. Anyway, it's time for reevaluation. It's time for reevaluation because it might have started a certain kind of way, but no one ever told you that you were obligated to stay. See, that's what we've been taught, conditioned, brainwashed into convincing ourselves and believing. Just because you agreed to get on, no one said that you are obligated to stay on. Black Jesus help me. In the name of the baby black Jesus. Just because you agreed to get on, no one ever said that you were obligated to stay on. I say it, okay? I say it. You don't have to agree, but I say this. And it could be anybody. It could be anybody. It could be your husband. It could be your wife. It could be your parent. It could be your best friend. It could be your coworker, your business partner. I don't care who it is. And someone, because, there's always two sides to a story, and someone might want to play devil's advocate. Someone might say, well, yeah, that's different when you're a parent, but because when you're a parent, that contract never ends. Well, let me tell you something. The bond that connects you to your child never ends. But you get to decide how you choose to stay in relationship with your child. If your child is someone who is hooked on drugs, let's just say, or somebody that is in a gang, and that's the lifestyle they've chosen. And no matter what your efforts have been, no matter what you've done, no matter what you've said, and how you've attempted to support them in getting out of that lifestyle, listen, there comes a point where you have every right to reevaluate how you want to stay in relationship with this child of yours if all this child does is bring headache, chaos, issues, and problems in your life. Now, I know for a fact there are many mothers who will totally reject that because the mothers that I know will say, well, that's my child and I'm going to be there for them no matter what until the day I die. That is a choice. That is a personal choice. That is a personal choice. That's a personal choice. And I am nobody to criticize or judge that. I'm not criticizing it. I certainly am not judging it. I'm just saying it's a personal choice. You cannot decide, and this goes for anybody, you cannot decide to stay in suffering and then complain about the suffering. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? You can't. You can't decide to stay in the place of suffering and complain about it. If you choose to stay in a place of suffering, understand what comes with that. It comes with more suffering. It comes with chaos. It comes with issues. It comes with that roller coaster ride that you're in because it'll never be peaceful. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? It's a choice. It's a choice. your proximity to that issue, to that relationship, to that environment, to those family members could be what's contributing to your lack of peace, to your inability to find yourself, your inability to feel happy, your inability to maximize, your inability to grow, your inability to find your inner balance, your proximity. It is a choice. There's some people, no, it's my responsibility. Listen, in Spanish, in Cuba, we say, ese golpe de pecho. You know, there's no translation for it in English that I know of. And there might be, but I don't know it. Ese golpe de pecho que uno se da can sometimes be, you have that martyr conflict, that martyr complejo de Salvador, savior complex. That savior complex, this is going to butthurt somebody, and somebody's going to want to unfollow me. And I don't want you to unfollow me, but it's not going to stop me from delivering the message. And the message is, your savior complex is not going to make you a better mother. Your savior complex is not going to make you a better father. This is going to butthurt somebody. I don't mean to. Your savior complex, Spirit says, is not going to make you a better mother. Your savior complex is not going to, earn you a trophy in your tombstone. If you even get a tombstone. There are many, many that deserve trophies and tombstones, and they don't even have a tombstone. You can't even find their name where they're buried. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? So, your proximity is what could be putting you in a place of, in a dangerous place. In a dangerous place. There are millions, and that's not an exaggeration. I'll say it again. It is not an exaggeration. It sounds like an exaggeration, but it's not. There are millions of people who are no longer here in the physical realm who deserve not just one, God knows how many trophies in their tombstones. And it's nowhere to be found. You know why? Because at the end of the day, I'll say it again, and I know it's going to butthurt somebody, but I'll say it again. Your savior complex is not going to make you a better mother, a better father, a better husband, a better wife, a better partner, a better daughter, a better sibling. It's not. It's not. And as our download for tonight says, proximity is putting you in danger. You're too close for comfort. You're too close to the place. You're too close to the issue. You're too close to the people. You're too close to the environment that habitually and continuously and repeatedly inflicts the pain in your mind, inflicts the pain in your heart, inflicts the pain in your life. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? This is why sometimes, and many of you may not understand this because you're not part of my Afro-Cuban walk of life. But in my Afro-Cuban walk of life, in the Orisha side of things, which is something I don't speak much about on here because it's not what this particular page is about. But in my walk of life, in the Orisha faith practice, sometimes Orisha will tell a mother, will tell a son, will tell a sibling, you are to cut all ties with your sibling. You are to cut all ties with your mother. You are to cut all ties with your daughter. You are to cut all ties. And it's the most difficult thing for someone to do, especially for a parent. Especially for a parent. How is divinity? How is Oricha? How's my faith gonna tell me I need to sever all ties with my child? Oh, hell no. But guess what? In my walk of life, Oricha sees more than I can. And sometimes Oricha has seen what's ahead. And what's ahead is dangerous to the well-being of the person who Oricha is looking after. Prime example. I know of a real life story. Nothing that I heard, nothing that someone told me, something that I witnessed. To make a long story short, there was a particular ceremony. There was a particular thing. You know, I know what it's called, but you're not going to understand the terminologies. And in that particular ceremony, in that particular event, Oricha told this mother that she was to kick her son out of the house immediately. Yamaya, in this particular case, a particular Oricha that was delivering this hard, difficult message to a parent, told this mother, this faithful, loyal, dedicated, loving mother, that she was to kick her son that came from her womb out of the house. An adult son. And she refused. She's like, I can't do that to him. He's my son and he needs me. You know, I know he has issues. I know he has a drug problem because the son had a drug problem. I know he has a drug problem, but I can't abandon his son. I can't abandon my son. That's my son. I brought him into this world and I'm going to stay with him and I'm going to keep fighting for him until the day I die. Yada, 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 yada. That was her position, her rhetoric, which nobody can judge and can criticize. We're in no position to criticize their mother when she stands in that position. Long story short, 8 months later from that particular reading, let's call it, 8 months later after Darita, he killed her. He was super high. He was totally out of it. He came home totally out of it. And he killed her. True story. True story. So, I've seen many difficult situations in which the divine source, spirit, Oricha in this particular case, Enganga, Mother Earth, whatever you want to call it, because the divine speaks to us through many different languages. The divine speaks to us in many different languages. In this particular case, the divine was speaking to this mother through her faith, through her walk of faith, which was Oricha tradition. But the divine speaks to us in many different languages. And whichever your walk of life is, whichever your dogma is, universe will tell you, walk away. See, let's not even make this about religion anymore. Many of you don't subscribe to any religion, and that's perfectly fine. But baby, you subscribe to divine because divine speaks to us in our soul. Do you hear me? Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? And many of us have been told in different situations, in different occasions, doesn't have to be something as extreme as the example I used, right? But it doesn't mitigate the fact that many people have been told, many people have had revelations, many people have had a dream, many people have had a download, many people have had that voice of the God of your understanding tell you, walk away. Whether it's from a romantic relationship, whether it's from a particular friendship, whether it's from an environment or from a job or whatever the case may be, the divine has told you, source has told you, Mother Earth has told you, walk away. And your emotional tie to that environment, to that person, to that experience, to that relationship keeps you tied down. When your senses are turned off, when your senses are out of balance, the low vibrational energy, our shadow energy, will keep us stuck in experiences, will keep us stuck in places, will keep us stuck in relationships that can literally take us to our grave. Bringing it back to tonight's download. Proximity could be placing you in danger. You're too close for comfort. Your proximity, which is our phrase, our download, our phrase for this evening, proximity could be placing you in danger. You're too close to that place. You're too close to that person. You're too close to that environment. And it hasn't changed 6 months in. It hasn't changed 8 years in. It hasn't changed 20 years in. And your proximity to that situation that continues to inflict turmoil, headaches, and chaos in your life is gnawing, stealing, taking away, robbing you from your peace, from your growth, from your balance, from your abundance, blocking the blessings you deserve because you're too close. You're too close to what you still to this day think you can fix. You can't fix anything that doesn't want to be fixed. You cannot fix anything that does not want to be fixed. And in reality, we don't fix anything. Hello, that's a whole different ballgame right there. We don't fix anything. I don't fix anything. I'm here obeying a command. I was born for this. I'm obeying a command. I don't fix anything. But when you are willing to listen to the guidance, I am just the person that reconnects you to the truth that already lives within. I support you in reconnecting you with the truth that already lives within you. So I didn't fix you, I reconnected you. And what does that say? I reiterate the fact that you can't fix anybody. You can't fix anybody. And you can't fix people that do not want to be fixed. You can't. Some of you have been punishing yourself, sitting there waiting for someone to get quote unquote fixed. And no matter what you've done, no matter what you've done, no matter how you've prayed, no matter what you've summoned, if they are not willing to be fixed, the fixing will never get going. It will never get going. So while you sit there waiting for them to have an epiphany, to have a download, to wake up and see you the way you want to be seen, for them to wake up and want to change their life, for them to wake up and want to do better with their health, for them to wake up and want to do better with a relationship, for them to wake up and develop overnight these communication skills, it ain't going to happen until they are ready. You can't force readiness. Do you hear that? You can't force readiness. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? You can't force readiness. See, readiness. Ooh, I don't want to go there too far. I want to get into that rabbit hole. But when we look at metaphysical laws, universal laws, readiness does not come from the outside in. If you got that, you got that. If you didn't, you didn't. Some conversations ain't for everybody. Readiness does not come from the outside in. It doesn't. It does not. Readiness comes from the inside out. I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there. So you can't force readiness. You can't force it. You can't force it. Gracias a usted, la serpiente venenosa. Gracias a usted. So, proximity can either be making you or breaking you, depending on the current situation you're in. And if it's a low vibrational situation, proximity keeps you too close to that problem that doesn't let you see, doesn't let you go within, right? And that proximity to low vibrational situations and experiences and people and places keeps you distant from the voice of God within, the God of your understanding. See, sometimes Spirit, God, Source, Universe, Mother Earth, has to isolate you in order to be able to reach you. Some of you are complaining. Why doesn't God listen to me? You're suffering over this person that you are so in love with, and they don't see you, or they don't validate you, or they don't love you back the way you want them to love you back. And you're there waiting, and they promised you that they were going to marry you, and they haven't married you yet, and they're still trying to end this previous relationship, and you're there hanging, and you're suffering, and you're angry with God because the only thing that you really want in life is love, and to be loved and experience love. And that's the one thing that's missing in your life, and you're here in suffering and in pain, and oh my God, why doesn't God listen to me? God is listening to you. You're the one that's not listening to God. God cannot reach you because you're distant from God, because you're too close to the situation that keeps you isolated from God. Hello, somebody. Hello. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? God is always trying to reach you. It's just that you're distant from God. Do you hear me? Did you hear that? You're too close to the situation that keeps you distant from God. That's why you don't listen to the downloads. That's why you're not having the dreams, and you're not having, you don't feel, you feel like the universe, that God is not talking to you. God is talking to you. You're just not listening because you're not being receptive. The connection has been interrupted. The frequency is off. Come on now, somebody. The frequency is off. That was a message. That was a message. I want to continue trying for an oracle card tonight. I want to continue diving with these cards that I recently came across, and I'm liking its vibration. I'm liking its energy. So the question, how can we in our own way reconnect with source? First, we will have to identify what's interfering with your connection with source, because source is always there. We have to first take inventory as to what in my life is contributing to the disconnection with source. Is it your environment? Is it your relationship? Is it control? Is it fear? Is it me wanting to know more than God already knows? Because sometimes that's an interference. See, when we want to do it our way, source will let us do it our way. We're just not going to get the results we want to get. Ay, Dios mío. Source is more than willing to let us do it our way. We're just not going to get the results that we desire, the results that we deserve, the results that we need. No. You're going to get a contaminated results. We're going to get an adulterated result. We're going to get an unnatural result. You're not going to get the result that's truly intended for us. So sometimes reconnection requires solitude. Reconnections require us to really sit down and listen and be consistent. Just because I do it one way, just because I do it one day, just because I do it for one weekend, just because I do it for 3 days, it's not enough, especially if I spend 15 years not listening. I gotta work that muscle. You want results overnight when you haven't even worked that muscle. So it's a matter of evaluating our environment. Am I attempting to reconnect with source while I'm multitasking? Which means that I don't even make source a priority in my life, but I want source to give me all what I need, all what I want, and they'll give me all the answers, but I don't even make time to make source a priority. We got to look at that. Are you attempting to connect with source while still trying to answer text messages? I know quite a few of those. It doesn't work like that. It starts with silence. Okay, let's see what opening oracle card visits us tonight. What oracle card visits us tonight? I can't believe we're practically in June already. This is really, really mind boggling me. Like, Lord Black Jesus. It's an interesting card. I wonder what the author says about this particular card. Let's find out. Let's find out. Okay. Vamos a ver. Vamos a ver. We got. Thank you so very much, Omaida. Thank you. I'm glad you all liking my shirt tonight. We got the Father. The Father says here. The Father. The Father. Let's see what this particular card says. And it says, the great father, the masculine, the protector. Alongside the mother, the father resides in the central axis of the archetypal family. The father embodies both light and dark aspects of the masculine. Thus, he is infinitely dynamic and complex. His energy is strong and regal, embodying such virtues as honesty, wisdom, and loyalty. Yet, ironically and simultaneously, the father is often absent, literally or emotionally. Through absence or action, the father eventually reveals that he is neither a king nor a god, but a human being with many flaws and wounds. He is both the guardian and one who leaves us to the wolves. Here, yet gone, the champion and the failure. The father can never resolve or escape this duality. It is inherent in the archetype itself. Witnessing the father's limitations allows the child to grow beyond the family and into the world. Ouch. So this card, when in its light version, is supportive, strategic, regal, kind of authority. When this card is in its dark position, is disappearing, disappointing, devastated by failures. Going deeper is Saturn devouring his son by both Peter Paul Rubens and Francisco Goya. Become a student of this masculine energy. Watch the father in movies, in Shakespeare plays. See the father as a pattern, not as personal. What it also says. Irrelevant. Hmm. This could mean many things. I'll say this. It could mean that some of you could right now be facing a situation in which the masculine of side of you feels challenged, or you're experiencing a challenging situation with masculine in your life, whether it's your own biological father or the person that took on the role of a father. Okay. It could also mean issues, decision making with authority, people that are authority, in authority in your life. There might be masculine vibration, masculine energy in your workplace that you find yourself conflicted with. This could also be about you balancing your masculine energy, balancing the masculine energy within you. You didn't have the protector and you had to learn how to protect yourself, but it has made you rough around the edges, perhaps a possibility. There are different ways to look at this. Different ways to look at this. And also, as the author of this particular deck says, It's about understanding that you are not perfect. And even though family, children, your wife, your parents have put you in a particular role, have served you with a role that they expect you to play out. Not understanding that you are human, imperfect, that you are someone that can try to do your best, but sometimes, oh, this is a bar right here. Sometimes our best, I don't know who this message is for, but it's a big one. Sometimes doing our best where some people require it also means failing in other areas that are also important to that very same person. Hello. So you require me to be the provider, and you have a certain expectation of what providing is. But if providing at your level could also place me in a position of being absent in other areas, you can have both. And what many fail to recognize is that while you are breathing down someone's neck to be the provider that you need them to be, based on what you call being a provider, and meeting those needs requires a lot of work, might require a lot of extra hours, which then makes them absent in other areas that you also want them to be present for. You can have both. There needs to be balance. Or better yet, you could have both, but with a reasonable understanding of what that even looks like. Of what that even looks like. You can't breathe down a man's neck, ladies, and want them to be the provider and work their ass off and then expect them to get home and still you are requiring them to fulfill other chores. Wait a minute. Where's the rest time? Where's the recalibration? When is it that this particular person that just worked a 16-hour shift gets to replenish to then wake up tomorrow and do it again? But you're mad at them because they didn't mow the lawn on Sunday. How about, they've made a decision to work and they've made a decision to, well, I'm not going to be the one mowing the lawn, but I'm going to pay for someone to mow the lawn, and the lawn is going to get mown anyway. Just an example. Just an example. Just an example. Okay, my soul family. This week, let's go ahead and also let's start with the air signs, since we are in this air season of Geminis. You know about these Geminis. I hear you. I hear you, Ms. Moses. I agree with you. I agree with you. That's why balance is important. Balance is very much important. But you know what? Lord Black Jesus, I don't want to get in hot water here. I don't want to get in hot water. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. And I've had conversations with men about this. What you're sharing with me, Miss Moses. I've had conversations with clients, people I know, men, and I myself, you know what? I'm going to put it out there. I myself, over the years, I've had to make certain adjustments in my mind in my mind, I've had to work with myself. In my mind, I've had to do some, deep diving, deep soul searching, because as all of us, we are all a product of how we were raised, right? So if you are from my generation, and I'm not going to tell you my age, but if you're from my generation and you grew up with the parents, the mother that I grew up with, we are conditioned. We are conditioned. We are conditioned. We are, trained to have certain kinds of expectations. And what I'm trying to say with that is, I totally agree with that statement. And I had to go through a long process of, you know, deconditioning, because I grew up in an environment, not just my personal environment. I'm not speaking about my home. I'm speaking about the community. I'm speaking about the women I grew up around. I'm speaking about the older women, because I grew up a lot. I was always around older people. And as a man, when you grow up around elders who condemn the younger women, elders, women themselves, who condemn and judge other women for not doing what they did. Oh, that's a whole live by itself. That's a whole live by itself. That's a whole live by itself. That's a whole live by itself, baby. Because I grew up in a home where my mom, single parent mom, single, not even single parent mom, and she cooked and she cleaned and she worked and she was a perfectionist. You think Virgos are just a perfectionist? No, trust me, there's some messy ass Virgos. My mom, my Taurus mother, my Taurus queen mother, okay, listen, you couldn't have your room messed up, okay, you couldn't leave clothes hanging around, this, the hamper filled with clothes all the way to the top and overflowing. Yeah, that was never gonna happen. Leaving dishes in the sink unclean, that was never gonna happen. Ever, 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 ever. It was not allowed. It was not allowed. It was not allowed. Messiness was not allowed. Things all over the place was not allowed. Okay. And because I grew up in an environment where my mom would go to work, my mom would get home from work, my mom would clean every day, my mom would cook every day. Cook. Okay. Cook. Mom is Cuban, so Cuban woman, and she cooked. I never saw McDonald's, I never saw Pizza Hut, I never saw Domino's, I never saw none of that, because it was not allowed. It was not allowed. Some people have laughed, but I kid you not when I say, I think the first time I ever tasted McDonald's for the first time, I must have been like 16 or 17 or 18 years old. Because my mom was a cook. She cooked every single day. Home cooked meals. Full home cooked meals. Okay. We're not talking about hot dogs. We're not talking about hamburgers. We're not talking about microwave food. Okay. We're talking about we Cubans cook a lot with garlic. So, sazon, a seasoning. You're talking about it, and mortero. The how do you say mortero in English? I forgot to say mortero in English. Uh, mar, mar, mortar and pestle, mortar and pestle, and stand there and and beat that garlic, and cut the onion and cut the the ají, the bell pepper, and do the oregano, and and do the home cooked meals, okay, with the rice and the meat and the beans, which was it's a staple in a Cuban household, and it was done every single day without fail, without fail, without fail. My mom didn't get home tired from work, and because she was tired, she would order pizza, or she would order, Domino's, or she would order, it was unheard of. Unheard of. So when you grew up like I grew up, yes, it's very hard to divorce your mind of that expectation in a woman because your own mother did it. I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm sharing with you how the deconditioning of the fact that just because the women of my generation did it, number one. Number two, the women of my generation are harsh and tough and have heavy judgments on other women that do not do that, or don't do that, or haven't learned how to do that, or can't do it. Listen, it's a hard process. It's a hard process to decondition. A very hard process to decondition. Okay, hard process. So yes, and I'm talking about my mother. I know many women. I knew many women like my mother, but I also knew many women like my mother who were married, who had husbands, who also worked, right? And she was either probably a stay-at-home mom, or she would also be a woman that worked. I've seen it all when I was growing up, and she would still come home from work and cook for the husband and the kids, the family, and she was still clean and she was still cook because it was just something that's very much ingrained in the fabric of my culture. Very ingrained in the fabric of my culture. I know many women, in my mom's age range and maybe a little younger. I know many women in their 50s. I know many women in their 60s that will look at the women that are in their 20s and 30s and 40s now, and listen, the criticisms and judgments are heavy, are heavy, are heavy, are heavy. And who am I to say, or any of us to say, that they weren't happy? It's easy for you and I to sit here and say, well, they did it because it was expected, and they did it because, that was the norm, and indeed it was. But we can't say that they weren't happy. Some of them swore that they were happy and they would do it again, and that there's nothing wrong with it because that's their idea, that's their understanding, that is their, knowledge of what a woman should be. Right? So there's many different shades. There's many different shades. Now, you know what I say? I say this. I say that it's not a matter of me or you criticizing, judging, or condemning the woman that does it or the woman that doesn't do it. It's not my call or anyone's call to judge if a man has that kind of expectation of a woman still in this day and age. That's not really what the conversation should be about. I believe, this is a personal opinion of mine. This is not a download. This is not a spirit's message. This is a personal belief of mine. I believe it boils down to those two adults coming together and coming to an agreement as to what their lifestyle should look like. And if those two consenting adults agree to the lifestyle that they keep together, then so be it. Then so be it. It should be about what those two consenting adults agree. And before agreeing, they should be disclosing what they expect. I expect A, Y, and Z, so that the other person can say, hold your horses, that's not me. Or, I don't have a problem with that. I can do that. And I expect this and this and that. And then the other person can say, yeah, I can do that. Or, yeah, no, they're not going to get that from me. And then we can either move forward or agree to disagree and not compromise, or, go our separate ways and not waste each other's time. But these are things that should be disclosed. See, we're too afraid to disclose what our expectations are because we are afraid of rejection. We are too afraid to disclose what we expect because we are afraid of losing out. You're not losing out on anything. If you say your truth, you're not going to lose out, because if you say your truth, okay, then later on you can't say that I am unfair, because we've had this conversation. We had this conversation from the get-go. You knew that this was my expectations. You knew that this was my book. You knew it. So if you decided to lie to yourself and lie to me by stepping into shoes that you knew were too big for you, then it's not my fault. It's not my fault. People lie. People lie. We lie. We lie. We lie by nature. We lie. We just lie. We lie because we're afraid. We're afraid of what's going to be said. We're afraid of what's going to be, what's going to come at us. We're afraid of missing out. We're afraid. Fear, and more fear. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. Woo, but that's definitely a conversation that should be had, and that's definitely worthy of diving deeper into, gender roles, and expectations and things like that. It's very, very important, because I believe that unfortunately many people are not having this conversation. They're just jumping into things just to jump into it, but they're not really having the deep conversations. And then they expect for you to be mind readers, or they expect for you to just know, or they expect that the way they were raised is the way you were raised. No, not in this day and age. Not in this day and age. Not in this day and age. No, ma'am. Not in this day and age. Okay, my air signs. Where are my air signs? Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Are you in the house tonight? Air signs. Where are the air signs? We are in Gemini season. We're in the air season. So let's start again with the air signs. Woo, 7 Geminis. Lord bless Jesus, help me. Nope, I'm not going to share the Gemini story, but it is there. You'll get it one day. You'll get it one day. We'll get it one day. You'll get it one day. Mystical Days is laughing. Libra Stellium. En el nombre de Dios Todopoderoso. Candela pollito asado. Uy. Ay. Apaga el horno que se quema esto. Okay. Let's see. Y eso juego con las costumbres. No, es una costumbre del carajo, la verdad. Okay. Vamos para allá. Let's go there. 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 What are the air signs bringing to us tonight? All right. Not bad. The lovers, the lovers, the lovers, the lovers, the lovers, The Lover's card. Lovers. The Lover's card for the air signs. Lover's card. Lover's card. Okay. This is so funny. Lover's card, which is an air sign card for the air signs. But definitely, yes, most definitely mystical days. Yes. Appropriate for the talk that we were having. Yep. So, this air card for the air signs, specifically a Gemini card. This is the perfect time period for you to reevaluate reevaluate how you are in relationship with self, number one, how you are in relationship with others. This is a good time to really ask yourself, what do I want? What do I really want? What do I really want? What do I really, really want? Thank you so very much, Rising Phoenix. Thank you. What do I really want? The problem that I believe with asking what do we really want is that when we ask ourselves that question, what do we really want? It should not be a question that we ask ourselves when that question is attached to sentiments that are outside of us, sentiments with our partner, sentiments with our family, sentiments with towards whomever in our life. No, 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 no. What do I really want? Me, for my life, for my purpose, for my vision, for my goal, for what I was entrusted by the divine to execute in this earth. Not based on the relationships that I'm in, not based on the connections that I have with people, not based on, my business partner. No, 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 no. What do I want for me as I journey through this earth? What do I want for me, for my life? Based on what Creator, Source, Mother Earth, Universe entrusted me with. Based on what I have, based on the information I have about me up until this point. I don't know who I am tomorrow, but I know who I am today. I know who I was yesterday. Based on the information that I have currently about me, what do I want? What do I want for my life? If I'm in a fucked up situation, what do I want in order to make that better? If I'm in a good space, what do I want from me in order to raise that to a higher vibration? If I consider to have a great life, what do I want from me in order for me to give back to the universe? Give back. Because when this particular card shows up, this is a card, yes, it's the Lover's card, but first I have to be in love with myself, number one. Number two, Spirit is also telling you, stop waiting for someone else to give you a green light. Stop waiting for someone else to give you permission to be you. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? This is a particular card that wants us to, it's time for that renewal. It's time for that experience in which there is balance. This is the balance between the masculine and the feminine, the balance between the powers. What powers are in control in your life right now? The masculine, the feminine, what powers are in control? And some of you have your father wounds, some of you have your mother wounds. Whichever they may be, they need to be addressed. They need to be addressed deeply. They need to be addressed. It's important. Unless you address it, unless you face it, there's parts of you that you will continue to ignore. And as long as you continue to ignore parts of you, there's no way you can show up fully. You can show up wholesome. You can't. You can't. You can't. There's a lot of powers at play here. You either raise your masculine because your divine feminine energy has been too much in control, or you raise your divine feminine energy because the masculine energy in you has been too much in control. It's about balance. Got to balance it out. It's also about you enjoying life. It's about you giving yourself permission to enjoy life. It's about you giving yourself permission to stop over worrying so much, especially over things that you do not have full control over. You don't have full control over certain things. So sometimes you just have to release it and let it go. You got to release it and let it go. If you are a Libra, you could be dealing right now with someone that's a Gemini. You can be dating someone now that's a Gemini. You could be employed by a boss, a supervisor, or manager that's a Gemini. Um, whichever the case may be, reevaluate the dynamic of what this relationship looks like in this current moment. It's also a card by which the universe, Archangel, is giving you the green light, permission to do you, find you, put that plan to work. You got to fall in love with your vision. You got to fall in love with your talent. You got to fall in love with it. Let me tell you something. At first, since I like to live my life a particular kind of way, but I also am a person who I consider myself to be of service, of service to the divine, of service to Mother Earth, of service to the universe, and then in service to the world. At first, when I was rejecting or without, when I was really uh, not on board with having a social media account and and exposing myself like this and what have you, I was totally adamant about it, totally adamant about it. And those of you that have been following me for a long time have heard this story before. I was totally adamant about it because where I come from and me being such a stickler for the old ways of things, you know, uh, yeah, that was not a social media. I was not on board with this whole social media thing until one day Spirit told me, you can't continue to control how we want to work through you. Can't continue to control and dictate how we want to work through you. And it took me a while. It wasn't overnight. It took me a while to kind of sort of tiptoe, tiptoe. I was tiptoeing. And the story's longer because it came about when I started working at a place called House of Intuition. And that required you to have a social media account. And I was like, I don't know, I'm not gonna have a social media account, and the kind of sort of, kind of buttered me up enough for me to say, okay, fine, I'll open a social media account, but I ain't posting anything. And then I opened it, and then I started doing some posts. Never go live, never do anything live, ever. I would just post, some downloads and whatever. Unfortunately, that page was lost, so you can't go back to see what my very first post looked like. I still have them, on my iClouds, but yeah, it was a long process. It was a long experience, and I came around. I came around because then I realized, I accepted the fact that I could not call myself someone of service and then yet control how spirit wants to work. And because I was raised in a way where this is private, it's in your home, it's in your community, whoever finds you, whoever comes to you is by word of mouth. You don't promote yourself, you don't put yourself out there, you don't have a Yelp page. I have a Yelp page. You don't have a Yelp page, you don't have a this, you don't, you don't post, you don't go on social media, you don't, that's how I was. I had that conditioning, because that's the school of thought that my parents come from and my elders come from. And again, I said, wow, this is how spirit wants me to do it, but I'm controlling the narrative. I'm controlling the narrative. And it's like, okay, if I'm controlling the narrative, I'm not doing spirit's work the way spirit wants me to do it. The Silver Lake, yeah, that's where it was, at the Silver Lake location. And it was, and it happened to be in a very interesting way, because by someone that I know, who's now, many years later, my goddaughter in my Afro-Cuban walk of life, she had sent someone my way for a reading, and that person is the owner of House of Intuition. She came for a reading, and I read for her, and we handled the situation that she was going through at that particular moment in time, and she was floored by the reading, et cetera, et cetera. And she wanted me to come work at House of Intuition. I looked at her up and down. I'm like, it's never going to happen. I'm not going to do that. I don't work in public places like that. I don't do that. I shut that down faster than I can blink. Then months later, I was having an event. I was having a religious, spiritual event, and spirit came through, and said to me, you're rejecting things that I'm putting in your path, and you're no one to reject it. And I'm like, I didn't understand what spirit was saying. I'm like, I don't understand what spirit's coming from, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, this person came back again. The owner of House of Intuition came back again and said, we really need somebody like you, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, nope, 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 nope. And they wanted me to do shell readings. And I'm like, nope, there's just no way I'm going to do a shell reading in a public place. And then I was in another ceremony, and then again, I was hit again over the head with, I'm putting something in your doorway and you're still rejecting it, But it was more of a, I was being chastised, And when I'm chastised by spirit or by Oricha, then I'm really like, oh shit, wait a minute, let me listen here. Let me really try to understand. And then through conversations that I was having, somebody close to me, and they told me, do you not think this has to do with you rejecting such and such person? Uh, uh, they want you to work there for them. And I'm like, shit. I'm like, ugh. I hope it's not that. And then when I asked and I consulted, of course it was that. So when she came around again and said, well, I really want you to come and work here, House of Intuition, blah, 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 for us. The community needs somebody like you, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, listen, I'll try it out for a week, but I'm not going to do no show readings over there. I'll do spiritual readings, will you? And then she throws at me, will you do card readings? And I'm like, card readings. I'm like, damn, I don't want to do card readings in public because I do card readings and I know card readings and I've been doing card readings for years, but in a personal setting. And because of the whole connotation of card reading and not being a masculine thing and blah 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 blah. Anyway, all these mental restrictions. But I gave in. And I said, okay, I'll do spiritual readings, I'll do clairvoyant readings, I'll do uh, tarot readings, and yada 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 yada. And that's how it started. So then I started there, and she says, well, we need you to open up an Instagram account. I'm like, hey, who? I didn't even know what the fuck Instagram was. What? Oh, it's the new Facebook or the new whatever, yada yada. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Well, but we really need you to because it's a requirement, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't. I worked there for about 4 or 5 or 8 months before I even gave in after being every month being told, you gotta open up a social media account, you gotta open up a social media account, you gotta open up a social media account, you gotta open up a social media account. I'm like, damn, fine, I'll open up a social media account. So I opened up a social media account. And the rest is history. I started posting memes, I started posting, downloads, what have you. And it wasn't until literally like 2 years later that I allowed myself to post a video of me and go live. And here we are today. What have I learned? I learned that when you work with integrity, when you love what you do, you will do it no matter what platform, no matter if it's in your privacy of your home, in your community, or publicly like this. Integrity, when you have integrity, it stays with you. It stays with you. And this is what I have tried my best to put out into the community or now into the world, since social media can reach the whole world, right? And never lose my integrity with the kind of work that I do. All this to say, it came because I have always been in love with what Creator has gifted me with. I've always loved it. I've always loved it ever since I was a child, because I grew up in this. This has been my walk of life, not just overnight. This has been something that I was born into since I opened my eyes. Since I opened my eyes, I've been into this. It didn't happen overnight. But then I knew that, Spirit wanted me to do something more than just my local community, And yes, I will admit that at the very beginning, I wouldn't say fear, because I'm not one prone to fear per se, but Yeah, I can say I was concerned. I was concerned about I was concerned about how it would look. I was concerned about how it would come across. I was concerned of how it would be portrayed. Mainly also because I've always been someone that used to condemn, criticize, and judge people that were, you know, publicly doing this publicly, because it's not how I was taught. That's why I always say, and I have always said, and I will continue to say, never say never. Never spit up, because you just never know how the universe turns, okay? And how the universe might put you in a situation that you used to criticize and used to condemn and used to have heavy, 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 heavy opinions about, right? I have no issues admitting that. I was one of those. I was one of those. And let me not even go down the rabbit hole of when ay, en el nombre de Jesucristo. When I told my mom, well, I ain't told shit. When she found out I was on social media, I'm like, Dios mío, I'm never gonna hear the end of this. I am never gonna hear the end of this. Because my mom, she's a person that she does not speak with words. She speaks with her facial expressions, and her facial expressions are louder than any words that can come out of her mouth. Loud. I'm talking about loud. Loud, louder than loud. Okay. Yeah. I'll leave it like that. Fall in love with you. Fall in love with your calling. Fall in love with your life. Okay. Fall in love with your path. This is not, it's the lover's card, but it's not exclusively about romantic situations. This is about your overall life. Where are you out of balance? Where are you out of balance? Where are you out of balance? She no Aquarius. She's a Taurus. Both my parents are Tauruses. Both. En el nombre de Dios Todopoderoso, ayúdame. Por eso se me ha caído el pelo. Yeah. Fall in love with your life. And that means much more. It has a deeper definition. Fall in love with your life means you gotta cut cords with the things that are standing in the way of you being able to fall in love with your life. You hear me? People, experiences, acquaintances, so called friendships, and even certain family members. Because if they're standing in the way of your ability to fall in love with yourself and with your life and with your purpose, then you need to put some distance because you're too close. Goes back to our download, that proximity. It's too close. Let's move forward. Let's do the fire signs. Let's do the fire signs. Let's do the fire signs. Are there any fire signs in the house? Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, are you in the house tonight? Okay. Not yet. Chris is in the house. Chris, my beloved friend Chris, is in the house. Beautiful soul sister. Okay, fire signs. Okay, fire signs. It's interesting. Air signs got an air card. Fire signs get a fire card. Six of Wands. Six of Wands. Six of Wands. Six of Wands. For the fire signs. Let me tell you something. It's not yesterday. Hold on. Who's at my door? It's not yesterday. And it's not tomorrow. It's today. It's today. It's today. It's in this moment. It's in this time period. The validation, the recognition needs to come from within. Validate yourself. Recognize yourself. Let me tell you all something, whether you're a fire sign or not. Even if some of you might reject this, what I'm about to say, to each their own. It is your prerogative, and you have the right to reject what doesn't resonate with you. But let me tell you something. All of us, without exception, I don't care who the heck you are, all of us, without exception, have a side of us that we dislike, have a side of us that we reject, have a side of us that we ignore, and even a side that we hate about ourselves. And that side lives in our shadow, lives in our low vibrational, lives in the dark energy. We all have a yin and a yang. It is very difficult for you to excel, for you to maximize, for you to grow, for you to step in to your power when you are also the very same person that judges yourself and criticizes yourself and condemns yourself and puts yourself down and live in your brain and always have a negative opinion about yourself. And negative opinions can be very, it can be something very subtle, it could be something very heavy. I'm too old for this, maybe it's not the right time for me to do this and that. Maybe, no one is gonna listen, no one is gonna buy, no one is gonna call, no one is gonna this, I'm too ugly, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I'm too black, I'm too white, whatever the case may be. Who am I? I'm not even that important. Why would anyone listen to me? Yada, 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 yada. Why would anyone listen to me? Perhaps because you are a child of the universe. Perhaps because you are the universe. Perhaps because your calling is bigger than you. Perhaps because your talent is bigger than you. Perhaps because your gift is bigger than you. Perhaps because whatever you were born to do does not come from you, it comes through you. And you are being disobedient to your calling, thus your creator, Mother Earth, universe. When you reject yourself based on your self-inflicted judgments and criticisms that also could perhaps stem from your upbringing and your traumas and your losses and your pains and your hurt. The validation and the recognition that perhaps you feel you're lacking is the very same validation and recognition that you fail to give yourself. This card is particularly very important if you have a Jupiter in Leo placement, because this is a Jupiter in Leo card. This is a Leo card. This is a fire card, speaking to the fire signs. So look at where your Jupiter is at, okay, at this time period in your life. Some of you have been on cruise control, and I don't know why you're not taking a much more serious approach to your life. You've been numbed out. You've been dumbed down. And you need to snap out of it. And you cannot always attempt to do it by yourself. If not, you would have done it successfully already by now. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? Yes, this is a collective reading. Yes, this is not a personal reading. Yes, a message does not apply to everyone. That's obvious. But if this does apply to your ass, you must smell the effing coffee and wake the hell up, because you have no time to waste. You have no time to waste. If it's a childhood trauma, we must address it. If it's something dealing with your ex and a divorce issue, we must address it. If it's an issue with someone you lost, we must address it. If it's lack of trust issues, you must address it. If it's control issues, it must be addressed. Is it a body image issue? It must be addressed. Is it because you are a slave to your family? It must be addressed. Whatever it is, must be addressed. Listen up. The universe wants to reward you. Mother Earth wants to reward you. Mother Earth wants to show you how talented you are, even though you don't see yourself as a talented individual, even though you see yourself as just a regular other person. Soul Sister Nishama says, I feel like crying. This is too deep. Wow. Let it out. That's all I can say. Let it flow. You see, tonight you don't have to be strong. You don't have to be tough. You don't have to prove your toughness to nobody. You're in safe space to acknowledge your emotions and release it and let it go. But we can release what we don't address. I like to also say that. We can only release what we address. Why are you so hard-headed, fire signs? You're hard-headed to your own detriment. Why are you so hard-headed? Why do you reject what God has placed inside of you? Why are you allowing your mother's voice to still live in your brain? Or your father's voice? Or your ex's voice? Why do you still punish yourself for being a teenage mom and you didn't do your best? But you did do your best. The best that you could. The best that you knew how to. But you're still here punishing yourself, rejecting opportunities, new doors, possibilities, new beginnings. Because, well, why would I want more than what I already have? Because I should just settle here because I don't deserve it. Because, I wasn't a good mother, right? Who the fuck asked you? Nobody asked you whether you were a great mother or not. You were the mother that you needed to be when you were it for the however long you were it. And God still loves you. Come on now. You were the father that the universe allowed you to be based on your limiting situations, based on the information that you had, based on the traumas that you were walking with, and you showed up or didn't show up the best way you could. And guess what? God still loves you. Yes, you had 8 abortions. Yes, you were promiscuous. Yes, you were a hoochie mama. God still loves you. So please, do me a favor and remove your foot from your own neck. Remove your own foot from your own neck. Because you have not been breathing for a long time. But I like you because Spirit says you've been faking it so well that you look like $1 million. But deep down inside, when I do a scan, when I do an internal scan of you, you're still judging yourself, criticizing yourself, punishing yourself, isolating yourself, avoiding places, not going to spaces, not mingling the way your energy needs to mingle. Listen. Let it be God's agenda. Let it be Spirit's agenda. Let it be Mother Earth's agenda. Let it be the God of your understanding's agenda, not your own. When are you going to finish that project? When are you going to finish that book? When are you going to publish? When are you going to finish that painting? When are you going to go to those art galleries? When are you going to put your music out? When are you going to screw this current employment you're in that's not going to give you the rewards you deserve? When are you going to forgive yourself for things that will never change? What's done is done. You can't go back in time. When are you going to give yourself permission to know that indeed you deserve it? Whatever it is, you deserve it. When? 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 When are you going to make time for the real you? When? When are you going to ignore what your family might think about you if you were to do X, Y, and Z? When? 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 When you're in your deathbed full of regrets? Really? Are you kidding me? Really? Really? No. No. That's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. Yeah, but I'm afraid of being alone. Jesus, you have not even been with yourself. You've been with everyone else but yourself. Oof. It's okay for you to take a break. But I'm afraid I will never find anyone else. No, 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 no. That is a false belief that has been inherited from God knows whom. But I might as well stick with what I have because, it could always be worse. It could always be better. It could always be much better. It could always be awesome and great and phenomenal. How about that? How about you start speaking that into your being? Don't settle for less, settle for more. Settle for more, not less. Settle for more. This is the healing work, baby. This is the healing work that must be done. This is the shadow work. This is the inner healing work that must be done. If you don't do it, no one can do it for you. Do you hear me? It's important. Yes, but I really want to move to that city, but I don't know anyone there. You don't know anyone there yet. You don't know anyone there yet. Oh, I'm okay over here all by myself. Are you okay? Or have you trained yourself to be okay? Come on now. Stop trying to play it safe. Play it right. Don't play it safe. Play it right. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down for you tonight? Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down tonight? If not now, then when? 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 Time for validation, time for recognition, but that has to come from within. It has to come from within. That those self-limiting beliefs, that lack of worthiness, that I don't deserve this, I don't deserve that, all that has been inherited. It's been inherited. And you are the one that needs to be the shame breaker. You are the one that needs to be the shame breaker. Do you hear me? Some of you need that support. Some of you need that guidance, and I'm here for it. Okay? You don't have to battle this confusing journey by yourself. But I can't say yes for you. You're the one that has to say yes for yourself first. You are the one that has to say yes to yourself first. Okay? Let's move forward. As I shuffle here, I remind you this Thursday is the last online healing meditation in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month. Join us for our closing healing meditation and our healing ceremony. Join us. The link is in my bio. If you are on IG, if you are on YouTube, It'll be in the description box of this video once it is uploaded. Okay. It's donation based. Whatever you decide to give, you will receive the link to the Zoom link to the online healing meditation, which will be at 6 p.m. this Thursday, the 29th, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay. Fire science, you have me stuck on you right now. There's so much to unpack for some of you. I don't know who you are, have no idea who you are, but there's so much to unpack. And it's not always a one-time deal. It's not always an overnight deal. It's not always a weekend deal. It's not always, but one step at a time. One step at a time. One step at a time. That is all you can do. One step at a time. That's all you can do. One step at a time. Okay? One step at a time. Whoever you are, if you need the support, I am here. You should be also in doing a lot of energy healing work. Inner healing work, energy healing work, shadow work. You should find yourself in my shadow work retreat this year. That's where you should really be at. Earth signs. Are you in the house? Let's do the earth signs. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Are you in the house tonight? Earth signs. Are you in the house tonight? Earth signs. Are you in the house tonight? Let's see. Make it happen, Miss Jacqueline. Make it happen. If you put it out into the universe, it will happen. It will happen. Okay, earth signs. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. We have the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups for the earth signs. Three of Cups. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. The Three of Cups. Celebrations are nice, are good. Celebrations All right, good. Good news. It's good. Taurus moon and Virgo rising and Capricorn stellium. Oye, pero lo tuyo es, my God, la bomba de Hiroshima. My goodness. There's nothing easy about you. Lord Black Jesus. En el nombre de Dios. Ella viene con todas las pistolas. El shotgun, la ametralladora, el MP, whatever, el M15. No, ella viene con todas las balas. It will happen. It will happen, Miss Jacqueline. It will happen. Make it like a done deal, and it will happen. So, Earth signs. 3 of Cups. Celebrations are good, but we must be cautious who we celebrate with. Who we celebrate with. Who we bring into our inner circle. Who we invite to the party. We must be cautious of who. Because the same person you can be celebrating with today is the same person that can be putting your creativity, your creation at risk tomorrow. So sometimes we must deal with people on a need to know basis. The card itself is a good card when we look at it from its upper polarity. The card itself is a happy card. It's a celebratory kind of card. It's a card that announces a victory. It's a card that announces good news. It's a card that announces being able to overcome a challenge. It's a card that talks about um, good works coming together and seeing the completion of it. But from a lower polarity, it's gossip. Okay, from a lower polarity, es un chisme de barrio. Okay, it's gossip. Okay, is bickering. It's someone having an opinion about someone that we should all be celebrating, but there's always that one person that wants to put their negative input. Treat people as people treat you. Treat people how they treat you. And you know what's the flip side about this is that it doesn't necessarily mean that they're a bad person. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're your enemy. But they're not necessarily a comrade. They're not necessarily someone that you can take to the next level with you. Because this is where contamination can take place. Okay. We look at 3, it's a 3 of Cups. The sacrifice that needs to be made, because 3 is sacrifice. 3 is a pyramid. 3 son los 3 clavos de Cristo. Okay. And there's many different ways to look at all this. So, 3 también es un triángulo. It's a triangle. And in a triangle, siempre hay alguien que está sobrando. So, certain things must be kept private. I can celebrate in the office. I can celebrate at work. I don't mean I'm going to bring you to my home to celebrate. My home is my castle. My home is my safe haven. And if you find yourself in my home, it's because you have literally been, you've gone through all the security checkpoints, energetically, vibrationally, spiritually, mentally, you name it. Okay, I'm worse than the goddamn cartel. You got to go through different checkpoints, different rings of checkpoints to be able to get, because there's just no way. Okay, there's just no way. As cool as you are, as smart as you are, as intelligent as you are, as fun as you are, there's no way your funky ass is gonna sit in my chair. No, 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 no. No. There's just no way. No. Too close for comfort. So what is Three of Cups telling the earth signs today? Make sure you don't overstep. Make sure you don't mix match things that need to be left separate. Work is work, home is home, private life is private life. This whole mixed salad, like it's a damn garden salad, no. That's not the way it works. It's not the way it works. Okay. This particular card is telling you also celebrate before the victory, because sometimes the celebration before the victory becomes the magnet that attracts, that pulls into you the good news. Now, I know, trust me, I know, it feels it feels horrible to celebrate something that has not yet arrived, out of fear of it not arriving, and then you feel let down. Listen, get yourself out of that mentality. Celebrate it. Celebrate it. Celebrate it before it comes. If it didn't come, it doesn't mean it's not going to come. It's just not coming now. Celebrate it. Become the magnet. Okay? So that you can manifest that vision. Because if it hasn't happened yet, it's right around the corner. Good news. Good beginnings. Good completions. But stay alert, stay aware. Respect boundaries that need to be set in place so people are not misunderstanding or misinterpreting you or taking advantage of you. Keep things where things belong. Water signs, are you in the house tonight? Water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, are you in the house tonight? Are you in the house tonight? Really? Pisces, Palmdale. Pero a mí sí me vas a invitar y quiero una botella de vino y vamos a caminar por todo el French Quarter and let's find that healing house and let's get some shit done. A mí sí me vas a invitar, te lo voy a pedir. Ay, oh my. Pisces, Pisciana, la Pisciana Mayra. En el nombre de Dios Todopoderoso, en el nombre de Cristo Negro. Okay, my beloved water signs. got the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands, which in part is part water. It's part water. It's also fire. Water and fire here together. Water and fire here together. Okay. Let's keep it nice and simple. Water signs. Who is the Queen of Wands? The obvious. She's a witch. She's a spiritual worker. But she's a great manifester. She is a great manifester. Okay. She's a great manifester. She's a businesswoman. She ain't here to play. She don't have time to waste. She makes things happen. And she makes things happen, not necessarily the mistake people make is that because she's a witch, that she makes things happen by force. No, I don't believe so. I totally reject that understanding or that belief. What I do stand by is by the fact that because she's a manifester, she will protect what she knows is for her. She will protect it against any low vibrational, vile, negative, ill intended energies that put her visions, her works, her art, her creativity at risk. So the works is not to push an agenda by force, is to manifest what's already been written in the skies, written in the path, written in your journey, to protect it from attack, to protect it from negative energies, negative vibrations, negative people, known and unknown enemies. That's what she does. Her family, her business, her what's important to her. She will work those roots. She will work those roots and make it happen and protect it. She's a manifester. This is a time period for you to work on your manifestation. This is a time period for you to revisit that business plan that you left hanging back there somewhere because you know you just have not, you haven't made time for you. You haven't made time for you. It's time for you to make time for you. You must make time for you. It's important. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? Make time. Make time for you. Make time for that goal, for that business. Make time. Listen, it fell apart. What the original plan had to be abandoned. Okay, the original plan had to be abandoned. The goal still can remain the same. Now we need a new plan for the goal. Might be a new environment, might be a new location, might be new people, might be a new business partner, might be a different approach. But we must continue. We must continue. Okay? It's time for revision. It's time to revisit. It's time to upgrade. It's time to level up. It's time to work your energy, to work your magic, to work your talents. It's time to channel that healing, energetic, powerful ancestral vibration of your deceased great grandmother, your deceased aunt. It's time to make these ancestors work on your behalf. Okay? All for good intentions, all for a good agenda, all for blessing the path. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? Go back to your power. Go back to your abilities. Go back to it. Reactivate that magic within. Reactivate that power within. Reactivate that talent within. This is the time period. The only other thing I will tell you, water signs, is contracts, paperwork, documents, anything that you sign, make sure you know what you're signing. Make sure you know what you're putting your name to. Make sure you're aware of what you're getting yourself into. Make sure that you know what you are dealing with so that then later on you don't have any regrets. There's no time for regrets. There's no time for regrets. Okay? Nice, short, beautiful, direct, and simple. The Queen of Wands wants to work on your behalf. The Queen of Wands wants to work on your behalf. Are you working in your favor? That's the question. Are you working in your own favor or not? All this multitasking, all this craziness, all this, no. Ground yourself. Ground yourself. One bit at a time, one piece at a time, little by little, little by little. Organízate, que estás desorganizado. Organize yourself. And take it one step at a time. Get out of your own way, get out of your own head. Make it work. Okay? That's that, my beautiful soul family. I pray to see you this Thursday at 6 p.m. on the online healing meditation. If you think you don't need to be there, you're wrong. You need to be there. If you think it ain't for you, you're wrong. It is for you. If you think you don't have what it takes to be able to meditate, then you have a totally wrong understanding of what a meditation really is. Okay? Give yourself the opportunity and permission to at least experience it. Okay? Make time for you. Make yourself a priority. DM me, send me your name, send me your information if you want to be part of this year's 3-day shadow work retreat in October, which will be here in Southern California. Most likely, it's looking like it's going to be in the area of Ojai. It's a beautiful, magical space, said to be the sister place of Sedona, Arizona. So, just put your name on the list. Worry about everything else later. Become a manifester. Sometimes this whole thing, I hope. No, make it happen. Hope, listen, make it happen. Exact dates. I don't have the exact dates yet, but let me tell you something. It'll most likely, there's a 90% possibility that it will be the first weekend of October. The first weekend of October. If not the first, the second, but I'm leaning towards the first weekend of October. That would be 3, 4, and 5. If it was up to me, I would rather it be a 4-day retreat. But for some people, I know it's difficult, but it would be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. So you have to fly in Thursday night and fly out Monday morning, okay, or Monday late at night. Other than that, I will have more information. I will have more information in the next couple of weeks to come, and we shall go from there. Okay. But if you are interested in the shadow work retreat, send me your name, send me your information, so that when it's already completed and put out there, I can send it to you first, so that you have a first opportunity to reserve your spot, because I only take a number of people. I don't take a large group. Okay, it's only a number of people. Okay. Usually don't take more than 10. So don't miss it. This is the make it year. This is the breakthrough year. This is the year to really, get all these things in order, get all your life in order, get your history in order, get your ancestral things in order, get all these things that have been pulling you down and weighing you down and holding you back and restricting you and strangling you. Listen, this is the time period to get all this in order. Okay. So where there's a will, there's a way. Please share this video once it's uploaded. My IG family, if you want to watch the replay, if you missed tonight's Tarot Tuesday, visit my YouTube channel where you will be able to watch the replay. Okay. Other than that, have a great rest of your evening. My calendar is open for personal readings for tomorrow. If you are open to it, if you're up for it, if you know you need it, and many of you do, um, click the link in my bio if you are on IG and schedule your personal one on one reading with yours truly here. I am here for you. Okay. Other than that, I shall see you soon. Be safe, be safe, be safe. Stay strong, be empowered, and may you have many beautiful breakthroughs in your life. Thank you, and see you soon.